Let's make this a lovely, easy Christmas sack. This is a quick project using 3/4 of a metre or yard of fabric. I went for this fairly blingy style for my granddaughter, but you could use any colour or style to suit the child it's for. The bag has a lining and a drawstring top, as well as an easy applique letter that I will show you how to do. For this project, you will need 3/4 of a metre or 3/4 of a yard, curtain furnishing for similar weight fabric. This is a pinky rose velvet curtain material that is around 60 inches wide. I will give full measurements in the description. You could use quilting cotton instead, or upcycled sheets or cotton clothes. If you do this, you may want to add some fusible fleece or interface to give the outer fabric more body. If you are upcycling fabric pieces, you would need 2 pieces 30 inches by 25 inches for the outer and lining. The 30-inch measurement is the measurement across. If you've bought 3/4 of a yard of fabric, if you're buying fabric in America or similarly, that where fabric is sold in yards, your bag's going to be a little bit narrower because 3/4 of a yard is 27 inches. So that doesn't matter because the size isn't really crucial. The measurements I've given are just a guide. So out of my 60-inch wide and 3/4 of a metre of curtain fabric, I cut out 2 squares approximately 30 inches wide by 25 inches down. My fabric's plain, but if you look at the top of the screen, that's the top of the bag. So when you're laying out your fabric to cut it out, make sure you think about the direction of the fabric. As well as cutting out these 2 pieces for the outer of the bag, out of your outer fabric, you'll also need 2 strips which are going to form the casing of the bag for the drawstring at the top. I would suggest that the minimum width of this is 6 inches. It's going to be folded over and used to go round the drawstring. So if you have got enough material, you can have more of it. You see where I'm holding the fabric at the end there? That's the excess of my fabric after cutting out my 2 outer pieces. So that's how deep, if you like, my drawstring was. I actually wanted it deeper than that, but I was working with what I had. After you've cut out your letter template, cut out a piece of leftover batting or fusible fleece, and this will give the letter a bit of puffiness. You don't have to do this, but it does give a nice look. So when you're cutting out the fabric, just a reminder that the wider dimension is the width. So the 30 inches is across and the 25 inches is down. And my fabric doesn't have a direction, but make sure you've got your fabric in the right direction, and you're going to be positioning either an initial or the whole name. I'm just using an initial. So I'm not going to use just flat, thin, fusible interface on this. I'm actually going to use this fairly lightweight scrap I've got of fusible interface that's got some loft in it. It is quite thin though, because I'm aiming to have a initial that's a bit squishy and fat. So what I'm going to do is cut out the fabric for the letter. I was going to join together these leftover patchwork squares I've got and make one piece of fabric and use that, but then I remembered that I have got some others that I could use. So I got like that one. They all sort of go. That one is a Christmas fabric, and I suppose it also matters what they look like with this. To be bold. Right, make your mind up. Okay, it's not terribly Christmassy, but it does have glitter on it, and it's got some stars and things on and little suns. So I think I'll pin this on. I'll leave a bit of gap because I'm going to make sure that I've got enough fatness in it to take up the piece of fusible fleece. And I'll just stitch it to pin it to the both pieces. And there are other ways of doing applique, especially letters. I have tried them all, and although this isn't the best one in terms of the finish, it's the one that I can do without getting in a muddle and without making too many mistakes. I did want to do some applique letters, and I got in a right state with them all. I used freezer paper, did them all in reverse, and then got myself in a complete muddle. I don't know if you've ever heard the expression mind your P's and Q's. It comes from when people used to do typeface printing with blocks of print with individual letters, and you have to set the type to make like a newspaper or something. And it's very easy to get the P's and Q's the wrong way around because they look like the opposite of what they are when you reverse them, if that makes sense. That's where mind your P's and Q's comes from. What I'll do is I think I'll draw around that and then cut it out a bit smaller than where the pencil marks are. The last time I did this, I did have bits of fleece interface poking out the side of the letter. So I'll cut it, but then I'll cut it smaller. I used a piece of lining fabric as an ironing pad because I couldn't find my ironing pad, so don't let that confuse you. Just here I'm just pressing the letter onto the fusible interface. If you're just using a piece of batting, you can just quilt it down or maybe use some batting spray. I pressed mine with the iron to fuse it. I decided that I wanted to use this rather blingy fabric that I had left over from making the dress to back my letter, have it sticking out the side as you saw in the first clip. So I appliqued my letter onto that first. I then trimmed down the glittery fabric to get the effect I wanted. It was a very messy process with lots of mini sequins going everywhere. But hey, it is Christmas. I pinned the letter onto the piece of outer fabric and switched to a straight stitch and sewed all around the letter at the edge of the printed fabric. Next, get your two pieces of lining fabric and pin them right sides together and sew all the way down one side, across the bottom and up the other side, but leave a gap for turning the lining out when you finish the bag. Unfortunately, at this point, I turned my camera onto the wrong setting by accident and it was taking pictures and not recording a film. Do the same with the outer pieces. Sew them together, right sides together, all down one side, across the bottom and up the other side. And then get your casing pieces and turn in a double 1/4 inch hem at the short end of each piece. Fold it right sides out in half and then match up the raw edges with the raw edges of the top of the outer bag. Pin it in place and then sew all around. Once you've sewn all the way around the top of the bag, attaching the ribbon casing to the outer of the bag, Fold the ribbon casing back down towards the bottom of the outer bag, and then slide with the outer of the bag right sides out. Slide it inside the lining so that the lining and the outer are right sides together. Match up side seams and pin in place all the way around, and then sew the bag up through all of the layers. Turn the bag out the right way through the gap that you left in the lining, and then cut your piece of ribbon in half and thread one half of the ribbon through one side of the casing and the other half of the ribbon through the other side of the casing, so that you've got two sets of loose ends coming out of each side, and then knot those ends together. I hope you enjoyed this project. I'm sorry about the video quality at the end. I hope you'll try to make one yourself. If you'd like to make the little flowers that go on the end of the ribbons, I've linked another video here that you can take a look at that shows you how to do those. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all your comments, and next week I'll be back showing you my finished Christmas quilts. See you then.